And welcome back. So here we have the start of the sunset. In relation to that, you can see there's one fin that's in relation to darker at the tip, relating to the darkness of the sky. But primarily, that's the only difference between the darks and the lights. Here we have the center of the piece, which is lighter than the edges, and I've blended that. Now I'm putting the sky in primarily larger clouds at the top and then smaller clouds at the bottom. So it gives an idea of depth and I guess perspective to the piece. You can see too subconsciously that these clouds are all drifted towards the focal point, and that also helps to bring the eye in, because over here you can see where I put the tape, there's going to be a headland that comes in, and that'll also help to bring the eye back into the main piece. So the way you go about this is basically I've just put undercoat on the surfboard. The surfboard was in reasonable condition, but it did have some dings and dents in it, so I've sanded it back and I've used about 3 layers of undercoat just to give it a nice smooth surface to begin with. And here we go to the final, almost the final part of now using a very soft blending brush, and all I'm doing now is I'm just blending what I've already put down, which in turn allows it to build up the layers as well and remove any further imperfections, and I guess in a way cover up your own mistakes as well. So you can see how I'm blending. If I have this piece here, for example, you can see the purple and the pink. Well, what I'll do is I'll just grab a bit of the white with some vermilion and maybe just a touch, very touch of yellow, which is light yellow, not the mid yellow, and that'll give us this sort of bright tone to go over the top of the cloud. Now the way you do a cloud, there's the sun, let's say, and you're going to highlight just the little tops of the clouds, so it gives the impression that the light's coming from underneath as well as reflecting. And then you get almost pure white, and we're going to give it a very slight edge. So it just frames the cloud, and it'll also give it an impression that the light's hitting from behind. Then, before it dries, we spray it with a sprayer very, very lightly, and that just keeps it all wet. And then we're going to pick out the highlights of behind the cloud and give it that reflection that from a distance will look like the cloud is 3-dimensional. Now before that dries, I'll blend that. Okay, and then we're going to use a dry brush, just dry that off a little bit on the towel, and then quickly go over it and build up that layer. Keep a little bit of the technique there, don't go over all of the all the shapes and so forth, because we want to actually keep that. So I'll let that dry a little bit now, and then when I blend that will look lighter than this area, and it'll give it 3 dimensions to the cloud, otherwise it'll look flat. Same over here,